YouTube! How's it going? It's Multiplier here. Now, we've all seen Cymatics. They're a very successful company. They're all over the internet, spreading their samples about, throwing samples here, throwing samples there. You've probably seen some advertisements from them as well. And it's fair to say, over the last few years, they've been extremely successful. Got bumped into the keyboard already. Growing from nothing, or not nothing, but just two people, Stephen and Drew, growing into a pretty well-established thing in almost no time at all. Now, what would you do if I told you there was a book, and not just a book, but a checklist of how they went ahead and did it? In fact, it's not even that much of a secret because Stephen mentioned it in a live stream maybe 18 months ago. So he was basically telling everyone, audience, this is how we're persuading you as a company. Which I think is pretty cool. Anyway, what is this book I'm on about? It's a pretty famous book, and I will in fact jump into the... This is the book. This is a book. It's called Influence, the Science of Persuasion, and it's easily top 10 business book ever. That's a bad sentence. It's easily in the top 10 business books ever because it's so amazing. And so, what are these things? I have them on my phone. I took a screenshot. When it comes to persuading people, there are 6 main points of interest. 1, reciprocity. 2, commitment and consistency. 3, social proof. 4, liking. 5, authority. 6, scarcity. These illustrate the main ideas, the main concepts behind persuading people, not just in the world of selling samples, but just persuading people in day-to-day life. It could be as simple as someone's walking down the street and you want to persuade them to walk in your shop, or it could be as simple as, I said simple twice there, it could be persuading one of the honeys to come round for dinner, or it could be persuading, relevant for some people, it could be persuading a DJ to play your track, or a record label, or maybe a YouTube promotional channel to post your track or play it. Anything in the world where you want to persuade someone to do something, this is all you really need to know. Let's go down the list and pick a few and give you some Cymatics specific examples. 2 that jump out first of all. Scarcity. I'm starting right at the bottom already. Number 6, scarcity. So you may remember in some of the latest, not all of Cymatics' things, but some of, in fact, to some extent all of them. More obviously in some of the latest ones, I can't remember the names. But anyway, if you've seen Cymatics, you know which ones I mean. There's this thing called scarcity. Basically, you make something appear, or you create scarcity, so it's not... I should define scarcity. Let's get the internet to define scarcity. Define scarcity. Spelling it wrong, that's all right. Google correction, saving the day. Scarcity, the state of being scarce or in short supply. So what you can do is, in the case of a physical product, you can have natural scarcity. Maybe you're making widgets, or you're making deck savers. You're making deck savers for your decks. You could maybe you've only made 200, and so there's some scarcity there. Therefore, you can persuade someone. You can say, only 200 left. Buy now before they're sold out. Scarcity. In the world of digital things, where digital files aren't really scarce. Let's be honest. What some people do in the world of internet marketing is create false scarcity. So they say, we only have 500 copies of this, or we're only going to let 1,000 people or 100 people download this product or buy it. If you've seen Cymatics recently, you will have seen at least 1 or 2 examples of this, where they've said, we've only got this many to sell, and then we're sold out. Therefore, making someone more likely to buy it because, well, once they're sold out, they're sold out. Ideally, just a bit of a tangent, a bit of a personal recommendation. Try not to create false scarcity. Try to create natural scarcity. Otherwise, it can feel a bit misleading. Next, let me give you another example. So, social proof. Now, the most obvious example of social proof will be how many likes you have, how many followers you have, how many subscribers, and all that sort of fun stuff. So, in fact, keep popping in. Watch out for the keyboard. Look at the Cymatics website. This is the Cymatics website. I'm actually looking at a wall, but you're looking at a website. I can't quite remember what's on the website, but I'm pretty sure, in fact, if I use my memory skills, somewhere on this website, in fact, I'll do some sort of arrow, or maybe even multiple arrows, for the bits on the website that do social proof, basically showing how many likes, how many subscribers Cymatics have, places they've been featured, etc. And that is social proof. The theory being you're more likely to buy from a company or a person or be persuaded to do a certain thing if other people have already done it. Just the way our brains work. If someone else has already done it, then we're more likely to do that thing as well. It's just, as I say, it's the way our brains work. And there's loads of examples in the book, in fact. So do read the book. The book obviously explains it in much more detail than I can go into in a 10-minute or so YouTube video. So do read the book for the more examples and explanations as to why. But yes, so social proof, it's a big part of what they do in a much more obvious way than some other companies. And that's, as I say, one of the reasons why Cymatics were successful. Bibbidi babbidi bibbidi boo. Let's pick one more. Let's pick one more. Reciprocity. Number one, going right to the top of the list. Number one, reciprocity. Again, let's define it for those who may not have heard of the word. It's a hard word. The practice of exchanging things with others for mutual benefit, especially privileges granted by the one. Okay, just let's take a different definition. Reciprocity. I give you something, you give me something, or it doesn't have to be the same thing, but just the idea of I help you, I provide value, and then you help me. You provide value. And it's a mutually beneficial reciprocity. It's reciprocity. In the case of Cymatics, they give away so many free things. So many free things, it boggles the mind, and that is genuinely good. If you think about it, it's pretty fantastic. They give away loads of free things, presets, samples, advice, all sorts of things in the world. It just they provide so much value that when they then want to sell something, you, to some extent, consciously or otherwise, feel obliged to purchase it. Call back time to a previous video. If you remember my video on Cymatics Ableton Project Selects review, I think it was called, maybe 18 months ago again, roughly. I did a video where I explained Cymatics' business model and related to reciprocity, and I did it thusly. This is Cymatics. Freebie. Give me all your money. That is the somewhat comical, entertaining illustration of this concept. Don't hate though, genuinely, Cymatics, straight up, they contribute more in terms of free advice, samples, etc. than most people do. So even though they charge a lot of money for their products, it seems pretty fair. I'll get another example up just for the lulz. Another example, final example. Oh, look, I was looking at my photos. Check out this for look at it. I'm gonna be out of focus. Funny looking bird, and I've written hello on it. Not relevant multiplier, you're getting distracted. Commitment and consistency. This is an interesting one, and to be honest, I can't quite remember how it specifically applies to Cymatics. So yes, this is brilliant actually. So this is an exercise for you, the listener, viewer. This is an exercise. So one of the 6 principles of persuasion is commitment and consistency. A great example of this is when someone wants you to do something, you basically get them to commit to it in a small way, and that makes them more likely to completely do the thing. That's a bad sentence. Better example, when you are purchasing a car, you're at a car dealership looking to purchase a car, and you're looking around the cars, you've got the salesman or the saleswoman there, and looking at cars, and you go, yeah, they think I might take it. Salesman or saleswoman goes and says, I can't think of the exact words they use, something along the lines of, perfect, let's do it. Or you talk about price, you talk about price, you say, what about X number of pounds? And then they probably use better salesman talk. I'm not a very good salesman. Using good salesman talk, they say something to the effect of, would you like to purchase it for X number of pounds? Yes. Fantastic. Shall we shake on it? Yes. And then you shake on it. Now, While yes, technically verbal contracts are binding in most parts of the world most of the time, it's not really enforceable. So what's actually happening here? When you do a verbal contract, you're shaking the hands of the man or woman selling you a car. What's happening here is the car salesman or woman is getting you to agree to commit to buying the car. That makes you more likely to actually buy the car because of commitment and consistency. Consciously or subconsciously or both, you don't want to appear inconsistent. You want to commit to things you've already committed to. And so internet marketers use the same idea too. They may say something like, there'll be some sort of thing that appears and it'll say, do you want to improve your music production skills? And you hear, yes. Or maybe it's not as obvious that. Maybe it's more, do you want to write better tracks and make bangers and honeys and festivals and fun and stuff? Do you want to do all of that? Click here to find out more. Click here to find out more. That's a bit of a commitment. That's you saying, yes, I do want to write better music. I want to do all that sort of stuff. It's a commitment. You've said, yes, you want to improve your music production things. And therefore, that's a bit of the step towards actually purchasing some samples or presets that may help you do that. So, as an exercise, have a dig through the Cymatics website, analyze it, and see if you can find an example, first of all, of commitment and consistency. Oh, the thing stopped recording, and I have no idea where I left it finished, and I've left no idea where that finished or stopped and or ended, finished it, and I'm all, where even am I? The thing stopped recording because it got to the end, and I can't remember how far we got. You know how far we got. Probably, yes, yes, homework. Do take the Principles of Persuasion, written by Rob. Something or other. Do take these and see if you can spot on the Cymatics website, not even just Cymatics, just any website that you think does a good job of persuading or selling you things. See if you can see where these are being employed, and that will help you. Fantastic. As I say, it is one of my favorite books. It's one of the most famous business books of all time. It's one of my faves. Do check it out. And yes, that is it. Persuading. My name has been Multiplier, and I will catch you guys on the flippity song. Music.